to tell you how you can still create art after a mental breakdown and still create stuff. So, this has been a rough week for me. But I am determined to not stop creating. I had a bad situation happen this week that really took the wind out of my sails. I was doing pretty much everything great for myself, and then it just all fell to pieces. And all of my mental illnesses decided to just explode. The short story is a stalker really started rearing its head again, and it was really horrible. But in my history, every time I have some sort of big mental thing come up, it's hard for me to get back into my rhythm, back into my routine, back into my drawing. And I'm not sure how many other people out there, like any of you, have that same sort of problem sometimes. But my history with it is that it's hard for me to get back into it. There was once I even quit drawing for 2 years after having a really bad situation. So I tried my best, and here are some ways I kind of just got back into it. One, I didn't get back into it right away. I took a day to, well, actually more like 3 days, to just control what I could and try not to beat myself up over not being able to control the things that I should. And what I mean by that is sometimes when your life feels out of control, you just need something that you can control. For me, it was Animal Crossing. And yeah, when you think about it, video games are kind of that thing that people go to when it comes to trying to get a sense of control. Sometimes it's even just doing a chore that has nothing to do with anything. Like, once I cleaned an entire kitchen just because I felt horrible. And then number 2, just sit at your table. Now, this really requires you to have your own art space. I am lucky enough to have a spare room in the house where I made it into kind of my office, my studio. I have a desk that I sit up, I record these videos, I draw my art, I do my commissions, and when I sit there, it is work time. Now, sometimes it's also playtime because I play Overwatch and other types of games out there. But I try not to bring my work in other places of the house and instead do work in this room. So I just get into that work mode. So having a nice space where you actually can do your art and just sit there, just go to it. You don't have to start drawing yet. Sometimes just being in that space will kind of get you a bit motivated. The next thing is to put on some of your favorite art videos. One of the things I always go to when I want to draw, but I somehow can't, like my brain and my body just isn't working to be able to draw, I'll watch, art documentaries, art videos, other art type of things. Right now, I'm really into Manben. It's Naoki Urasawa's manga documentary show. So I'm put them up on YouTube. But yeah, Manben's been my go-to, especially the Akiko Higashimura episode, which I think I watched that like 5 times because she's one of my favorite mangaka. But just putting on a video about the subject of art kind of just inspires me to get back into it. Now, the 4th thing, I think this is 4. I think it's 4. Probably 4. 4th thing. I look at all my influences. I made this. This is a page of me just gathering up some of my main influences. And I look to it sometimes just to kind of know what to draw some days. Or know what style that I want to kind of emulate. And then 5, I actually get into it. Sometimes it's not drawing anything at once. Sometimes it's just making lines on paper or lines on my tablet. Like right here. You see, I'm just basically just filling up a page with just lines, just scribbling out just on a layer. And yeah, it's like, that's not even making art, Viga. But it's mostly just the practice of putting lines on paper. And then by the time you're at that point, you're at number 6, which is actually getting back to drawing again. I did my usual. I looked up some references, some poses I liked, some things, and just kind of just let it take me somewhere. You don't have to challenge yourself at this point because you're just getting back into it out of a really straining mental section. So instead of trying to really make this the best thing possible because you're kind of still healing, just draw something in your comfort zone. If someone needs to give you permission to go to your comfort zone sometimes just because you're just not in a really great space right now, I'm giving you that permission. Yes, there are days where you need to go and study and challenge yourself and become an even better artist than you are. But some days, it's just like comfort food. It's good to have comfort drawings. Like during the stress of college, I would always draw this one character named Kumi, who I actually used in a few assignments. And for me, sometimes my comfort is just drawing some cute anime girl doing something. In this case, it's this cute sketch of a witch. Now, this witch sketch I'm going to use for another video coming up soon. But this was born out of just trying to get back. And now you're probably like, Viga, what about my problems are way deeper. My issues are going to take much longer. And that's okay. But some of these steps actually help get me out of it. And I use these back when I was even worse off to try and get back to art slowly but surely. And I'm rooting for you. Just like I know a lot of you out there are rooting for me. And I'm sorry that sometimes I do talk about mental health on here. And I have to admit, PTSD is horrible. Depression's horrible. Anxiety's horrible. And I'm tired of having it. And I'm tired of having to deal with it, take medication for it. And I'm tired of and I hate the experiences that created this type of person. But I have to live with them and thus have to do things to help myself cope with them every day. And I want to be a success in life in something. So I just have to learn more techniques to basically kind of use it in my favor, I guess. I don't know how to say this, but stalkers suck. Anyway, see you later, art roomies.